She's a cover girl. This blueberry shortbread crumble cake is what we're making in our kitchen today, and as you can see, it's the cake featured front and center on the cover of the brand new book, I'll Bring the Cake, by our good friend, the lovely, the talented Mandy Merriman. We are celebrating today. This is a big deal.
Thank you. I cannot believe it's finally here. It has been a slow build up over a couple years, and it's here. It's here.
This is your second book.
Second book.
And this took how long? I mean, start to finish. We're looking at years?
Years. So I started over 2.5 years ago, and then officially signed my book deal 2 years ago. And I cannot believe that it's actually April. It's finally here. The book is here to hold it in my hand.
It's beautiful, Mandy. I was so proud to stack it. I have this little collection of cookbooks, and I'm proud to tell my kids, and I do often, I know every one of these people. I love every one of these people. So to slide this book right into my stack was so exciting for me. We're so proud of you.
And all those people love you right back.
Well,
I
listen,
feel like that's a testament to you, too.
That was not a name drop. That was just to say we have such talent here, and for people who have followed you for years, and made your cakes for years, and taken your classes, we're all celebrating. We're all shaking our pom-poms.
And it's real. I cannot believe it. And I feel like Studio 5, you guys are the best. This is my favorite. So I cannot believe it.
We love you. This blueberry shortbread crumble cake, top 5 favorite of yours.
Top 5 of all time. And I've loved blueberry muffins. And I knew I needed to make a cake that sounded like that, tasted like that, looked like that, but still kind of had my own flair on it too. So this cake has 4 components that I adore. So we have our shortbread crust, which we'll talk about here, our blueberry filling, and then we have a blueberry cake, and then we also have our crumble on top, the blueberry buttercream as well.
Oh,
it's just the perfect bite.
My mouth is doing a little bit of that. So let's start with the crust.
Okay, perfect. So for our crust, what I did is I have shortbread crumbles, so just like those Sandy's cookies, and then I mixed them together with some melted butter. And what it does is you get this gorgeous crust.
And that's it?
That's it. That's all you put in there. And then what I like to do is you can do this in a sheet cake like I've done here, but I love to do it in these little 6-inch rounds. I use the bottom of my measuring cup, and the quickest way to make a nice flat crust is to just rub it along the bottom.
Look at you.
Split it between your cake layers, whether you're doing 8-inch or 6-inch, or even a long sheet cake, or even cupcakes. You get a cute little crust on the bottom.
Quick and clever. I like it.
So fast and easy, approachable, and I love that you can just stick this in the oven without a pre-bake. You just put it in there right with your cake batter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So nothing beforehand that you need. And in my cake batter, there's fresh blueberries, and also I love using this blueberry emulsion. It gives it that, so blueberries are kind of tart. So I feel like this emulsion warms it up and gives it that sweetness that I love about blueberries.
Okay.
And so after you bake your rounds, so pretend we have three rounds here. So we have that crust that we made. We have our gorgeous blueberry cake. And then we love to put soft fillings in our cakes, but I feel like sometimes that can be a little scary. So here's a tip.
Give us all the tips.
Okay, so the first tip is sometimes people say, okay, just pipe a ring around the side, but I love adding a little bit on the bottom first. And what this does is it makes it so that when you do spread that blueberry filling, it's not gonna seep right into your cake and make it a little bit soggy for the first part.
Okay.
It's gonna make a little barrier between it. And I feel like that is key so that you can have your shortbread crust stay nice and crusty.
So the frosting becomes the barrier between the cake and the filling.
That's exactly right.
Got it.
And then you're gonna pipe a little dam around the outside of it and make sure it's a strong one, because I feel like the blueberry filling likes to be a little stinker and sneak out.
Okay.
But this filling is so good. So it's fresh blueberries, lemon juice, and sugar, and then a little bit of cornstarch just to make sure it keeps its shape.
Ooh.
And it is so tasty. And so if you don't want the clumps in it, my kids, they don't like clumps in anything. And so you can take an immersion blender to this and make it nice and smooth like jelly.
It out. Okay.
Or you can just buy some jam and stick it in there. We can make it easy. And you just spread it in there. A little filling goes a long way. So if you add too much, it's gonna slither around a little bit.
Yes.
So we just add in a little bit.
It likes to grow in front of our eyes.
It really does.
Filling that just,
And so you'll stack the next layers on top, add the crumb coat, press those fresh blueberries on the side, and it is the cutest thing you've ever seen.
The way you've decorated it with the trio cluster of fresh blueberries and then just little frosting leaves.
It's kind of like almost like a Mary Inglebright thing. And the leaves are actually from my blueberry plant, but you can also do fresh mint as well. So any edible leaf, and stick it on there as well.
Those are real. Now, a lot of people, and it's funny that this has been a continuing conversation over the years, they look at these stacked cakes.
Yes.
And even though you've broken it down so simply and approachably, people still say that's intimidating. You want to emphasize any stacked cake can become a sheet cake.
Absolutely. And so I have the conversions right here in my cookbook that we started a couple years ago. And what it does is it tells you how to make any of my stacked cakes, which sometimes can be a little intimidating, and make it more approachable, but still get those gorgeous flavors. So in this one right here, I piped a cute little braid pattern with our blueberry buttercream. I still have that compote that I made right on top. And then we also sprinkled on the little shortbread crumbles. And then the crust is baked right underneath those cake layers. So in every single bite, you have all of those components that we designed beautifully to make that blueberry muffin flavor right into the cake.
And of course, there's ways to simplify the design and the decoration, but still fun to have the option to try, to be creative and make it beautiful like that.
Exactly.
Generally speaking, I know every cake's going to be a little different, but generally speaking, what are the conversions that you have to make to go from stacked cake to sheet cake?
That's a great question. So what I love to do is I actually just make sure to put everything right into it. And for my recipes, all that I do is I make sure to bake it maybe just a couple minutes longer, and that's it.
Okay.
You don't have to add anything or change any ingredients or do any conversions. It's exactly the same.
Mandy, we are so excited. Thank you for sharing this cake, our cover girl cake, as we're calling her.
I love that.
All cakes are female pronouns around here.
So.
I hope that's okay.
They're so pretty.
I don't
They're
know.
So fun.
It just naturally spills out that way. What we want to know is where we can get this beautiful book.
Okay, so this book is available everywhere right now. So you can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. You can get it, basically, if you just type it online, it's going to pop up right there for you, and it's available at Target as well.
I hope you grab yourself a Diet Coke and just meander the aisles of Barnes & Noble, sipping and saying, that's me.
Isn't that
That's
fun?
me. We're proud of you.
Thank
Oh,
you,
way to
Brooke.
go. It's called I'll Bring the Cake by Mandy Merriman. Be sure to add it to your cookbook collection.